Well, hello and welcome back to the latest episode of Edie Susty Talk. If you're unfamiliar with this series, it is our series of video interviews with sustainability leaders designed to just keep us feeling a little more connected and a little less isolated during the pandemic and beyond. I'm really delighted that we have Quorn's new CEO on the line for us today. Quorn's a company that we have spoken to a lot in the past, but maybe not for a few months. So it's a pleasure to have Marco Bertacca on the line. How are you, Marco?
Hi, Sarah. Very good to meet you. Very, very well. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear it. And for the benefit of everyone at home, I think it would be great to hear about how you got to be at Quorn and sort of the roles that you had before that move.
Sure. I think well, thanks for giving me the opportunity of a quick introduction. I'm as you will hear from my accent, and you'll probably realize because I'm moving my hands a lot, I'm coming from Italy. I left Italy 20 years ago. I worked in the UK. Actually, this is my third time. Then I worked in the Netherlands a number of times, and then I spent the last 10 years of my career in Asia. I spent all my life in food, so I'm a foodie. Probably related also with the fact that I'm Italian, and then I've been running companies for Unilever, then bakery sector, and then dairy, and then more recently I joined Quorn from the beginning of this year.
Mm-hmm. And what's it been like, sort of settling into that role at this time? Obviously, Quorn makes food, and it is a manufacturer and a brand, so it's a key company. But obviously, every business will have had to change ways of working.
Well, the question of how's it been to join Quorn during this time is a very simple question that would normally be a very complicated answer in a nutshell. On one hand, it's been an incredible learning opportunity for me. I arrived back in a country which I know well, but I had to resettle in. And then I start to drive and to lead a company with incredible success, incredible story. I know very little of it. And in the meantime, I find myself close and staying in a cottage that was supposed to be a temporary location. I had to be there for 5 months,
right?
In a bit of a lockdown. So I would not deny, it was a big challenge. I mentioned to you earlier, I'm a people person. I get energy from being around people. It was tough. I had to really find a way to connect in new circumstances. And the first priority that I had was to keep our people safe. So we introduced a lot of measures. We found a way to keep our factories running. I'm very happy, very proud of what we did there. Everybody contributed. People from the sales team were actually going into the factories to help, and that was fantastic. And then we kept our product on the shelf, which was a period of scarcity on the shelves in the country. So complicated, big learning. Fingers crossed, very successful, and we've learned a lot in this period.
Mm-hmm. Great, and we've spoke a lot to Quorn's sustainability team in the past, and Quorn is obviously a business with products that have a built-in sustainability story and a built-in purpose. So how do you as CEO and the rest of the executives communicate with the in-house sustainability professionals? What's it like behind the scenes at Quorn?
Look, I was very fortunate to join a company that has this core sustainability is all over Quorn, right? Maybe one thing that I've done is I've introduced a new role. You may have heard about Tong Wen Zhao. She's a new colleague. She's our head of people and planet. Now, this went in the media quite big because it sounds like the best job in the world. And I really think it is, because it gives us the possibility to combine the impact that we want to have on people and the impact that we want to have on the planet through sustainability at the same time. So she sits on the executive team. She's a colleague of mine, and that's why we put sustainability at the very top. We have bi-monthly meeting with her and her team. So I sit in those meetings, and that's why really sustainability for Quorn, as I mentioned, is really something that is a very core, is our purpose. Our purpose is providing healthy food for people and planet, and that's why it's in every day. It is really in everything we do.
Mm-hmm. So I'm presuming that you're on Zoom with her a lot recently.
Yeah, look, of course we try to stay as connected as possible, but And just to give you an example, in the last 2 days, we had the whole company on a Zoom call. 300 people one day, 250 the second day. And what exactly we did, we talked about the purpose. We talked about why we're here. We talked about stories of pride of all the individuals, from the operator to the senior management. So that's how important sustainability is for us. And the stories of pride where, some of our colleagues talked about their kids going to school and telling the teacher, how proud they have their dad saving the planet. There's nothing more powerful than this.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm definitely seeing a lot more talk about purpose-led business, and every piece of research points the same way, that people are looking at this moment in time to support businesses with stories, or to storytell a bit better. Have you seen that impacted in sort of your trends with advertising and sales?
Yeah, we're seeing it. We see around us, but the best way for us is to take a leadership role. Quorn has something absolutely unique. We have this super protein that is part of our product. It's something that is really unique. It's high in fiber, low in saturated fats, no cholesterol. Our production system uses 90% less land, less water, and carbon emission than animal protein. So with this super protein, it's while our sustainability credential have historically been based on what we do through our products, now our intention is to take it into much beyond that. And that's why it's not just our product is fantastic, but the impact that we want to have on the planet is also extremely relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's intersectional. It's got to be about more than one issue, right?
Yeah. I think the big intersection for me is I think we prove it in what we do, right? So our when we introduce our new labeling system, the carbon footprint on our labels, for a long time, nutrition has been on labels, on packaging labels, as a way to explain to consumers the impact that you have on yourself when you eat food. And that's fantastic. That's exactly the right thing to do. And now there's a standard and everybody knows it. As a consumer, you can educate yourself. You can compare products. Until we introduced the environmental impact of our product, you wouldn't know what type of impact you would have by eating different products. And that's why we took this step, and we've introduced that on our packaging.
Mm-hmm. And just sort of behind the scenes of the labeling, what's the process like? So how do you calculate that? Does the packaging need to be changed to put the labels on, and how are you tracking what the reaction is to the labels?
Yeah, look, first of all, is a big effort. What we do, we use the life cycle assessment system, so from cradle to grave. So we started to understand all the different components of the ingredients and the packaging. We start to calculate the carbon impact of the transport into the factory, the manufacturing transformation, the transport out, the cost, the carbon impact of putting that on the shelf. But we go one step further. So we include in the carbon numbers that we have the storage cost at the consumer, the cooking in the consumer homes, and the packaging disposal. So it is a complete system. We also use the Carbon Trust to certify that, and that is how we do it. The impact that has generated has been massive, from consumers, from retailers, from the industry. We have really been recognized as taking a leadership step in there. I really have to acknowledge my colleagues. This process started much longer before me. I just thought when I arrived, this is absolutely fantastic. So that's why we're now taking a leading role, because there is a long way to go. I mean, first of all, we need to ensure that across the food sector, a lot of other industry are following that. And at the same time, we take a leadership role in ensuring that we find a way to harmonize the way the carbon footprint is included in the packaging, so that the consumer can compare different products using the same metrics and don't get confused.
And do you think we're at this point where we might see carbon labels on more and more things? Because as you say, the good thing about nutrition labels is that I can pick up, say I'm shopping for yogurt, I can pick up one brand and I know how many calories and sugar is in it, and then I can pick up another brand and it's comparable, and that's how you make the choice. But if you had the information on just one product in isolation, you might not know if that was a good choice.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what point do you think we're at in this trend?
I believe that I was extremely happy. A couple of months ago, Unilever came out and said they declared that we're going to put all the information on 70,000 SKUs. That's a massive job from them, big commitment. I hear Nestle is also thinking about it. As far as I know, Quorn and Oatly are the only one that currently do that on their product. But I believe we have started a movement. We really started what I believe is going to be an army of change makers, because we will really follow. And also from our side, we are planning to take a leadership role. So I'm currently reaching out with my team and driving this harmonization on the different labels across the industry. So I believe we're at the big turning point.
I think so too, although I have seen some quite interesting announcements aside from food. I've seen like some computers with carbon labels, or some trainers.
Yeah, look, I think when big disruptions are happening, a lot of exploration happen at the same time. What I believe is to be at the forefront of the disruption is the best place to be, and then you entertain conversation with those around you, but never wait for others to make the big steps. Just go out there, take risk, and see how it is received. At the beginning, where people saw our footprint on the label, well, there was a lot of talking about it and a lot of questions. How do you do it, etc. Now we are explaining, and it's becoming bigger and bigger. A super movement, actually.
Great. Well, I was going to say that's my last question, but I can't think of a more inspirational note and motivational note to wrap up on, Marco.
Look, it's really a pleasure to have a conversation with you, and look, it's been really nice to interact.
And with you too. And for everyone listening at home, if you've enjoyed our discussion today, we have a whole back catalogue of Susty Talks dating back to earlier this year when we first started this series. You can access them by searching for the Susty Talk tag on edie.net, or by looking at the Susty Talk playlist on our YouTube channel. We will be publishing these probably at least once a week going forward, so stay tuned for the next episode. And until then, it's a goodbye from Marco and a goodbye from myself.
Thank you, Sarah.